For many, Christmas is synonymous with peace, unity, and hope. It is the time when the hearts of humanity seem to beat in unison, silencing the pain of the world to celebrate the birth of Christ. However, the silence of the Holy Night holds mysteries that few dare to unravel. Have you ever stopped to think about the meaning of this silence? Some scholars and visionaries warn that this apparent state of serenity may be an omen, a divine warning of difficult times to come. The peace that we celebrate every year, amid lights and songs, may be a last chance to reflect on our choices as humanity. But are we paying attention to what this peace represents? Before we delve into this intriguing prophecy, I want you to think about your last Christmas celebration. Who was around you? Perhaps family members gathered together, children playing, or even a moment of reflection alone in front of a decorated tree. Now imagine if this scenario were interrupted by a disturbing emptiness, not physical, but spiritual. Several messages, both from ancient prophets and from Marian apparitions, suggest that Christmas has a special connection to global events. It is not just a celebratory date, but a spiritual thermometer that reflects the state of humanity. This silence of the Holy Night, which comforts us, may also be alerting us to the sound of the absence of peace in the future. Perhaps you have already felt this. An inexplicable feeling that, despite all the apparent joy, something is out of place. This restlessness is not only yours. In recent years, messages from religious figures, such as Our Lady in her various apparitions, warn of a time when the light of Christmas will be dimmed. This may sound frightening, but it also invites us to rethink our daily actions. How are we treating others? How are we taking care of the planet? Imagine, for example, that the most important gift this Christmas is not something material, but an opportunity for spiritual reconnection, a pause to listen to what really matters. And it is not only spirituality that alerts us. Look around you. The world is increasingly fragmented. Conflicts between nations, divisions within families, environmental degradation. All of this seems to be leading us to a breaking point. It is as if Christmas were a brief interval of peace in a world on the brink of chaos. The most striking thing is that this is not just our perception. There are records of prophecies that link this date to a larger prophetic cycle, indicating that, if there is no change, the silence of the Holy Night will be replaced by the sound of unimaginable conflicts. Now, allow me to share something that few people know. A little-known revelation, attributed to a Marian message in Medjugorje, mentions that, on a future Christmas night, a sign will be given. This sign will not be visible to everyone, but only to those who keep faith burning in their hearts. According to the story, a star will cease to shine for a moment, and the world will know that something has changed. Isn't it curious that so many prophecies converge on this idea of a heavenly warning? Think about it. What if the most peaceful night of the year became the stage for an event that would change history forever? Have you ever thought about the role of Christmas in your life? Perhaps we are so busy with shopping, commitments, and celebrations that we forget the true meaning of this date. How about observing the silence of this Christmas in a different way? Imagine that, in the midst of the rush, you find a moment to listen to this silence. Does it carry a message? Is there something that you, in particular, need to do or change? What makes this question even more disturbing is how small daily choices can contribute to good or evil. Think of a lit candle. Alone, it gives little light, but together with others, it can dispel the greatest darkness. This is what Christmas is like. Every act of kindness we do contributes to ensuring that the silence of the Holy Night continues to be a symbol of peace and not a harbinger of something terrible. Have you ever heard of the connection between Christmas and global climate events? Some interpretations suggest that the state of the planet directly reflects the way we treat the world and each other. It is said that when the earth weeps, the sky reacts. Will the silence of the Holy Night be interrupted this Christmas by a call from nature, a sign that things need to change? This topic may seem scary, but it is also an invitation to hope. Prophecy is not a sentence, but a warning. Just as Christmas reminds us of the birth of Christ and renewal, it also gives us the chance to start over. Each of us has the power to transform this silence into something positive, to reclaim the true spirit of the season. The silence of the holy night is, therefore, a mystery to be unraveled. Does it bring us peace or prepare us for something greater? What do you think? Leave a comment and share your thoughts. After all, Christmas is about togetherness and sharing, and perhaps it is in the midst of this exchange that we will find the answers to so many questions. And speaking of which, have you ever felt something special during Christmas? Perhaps a sign, a dream, or even a premonition. I would love to hear your story. Dear friend, before anything else, I want to make something very clear. This video is not intended to disrespect your faith, religion, or traditions. Quite the opposite. Our purpose here is to create a space for reflection, where these often controversial topics can be explored with respect and depth. After all, Christmas, beyond any belief, is a time that unites cultures and families around the world. So, as you listen, know that the goal is not to cause unnecessary fear, but rather to awaken in you curiosity to notice what often goes unnoticed. Now, let's think together. Why is it that so many prophecies, messages, and even spiritual studies point to Christmas as a special milestone? Isn't it strange that the very date that celebrates the birth of the Savior, for Christians, is also seen by some as a point of transition? Perhaps because it is a time when the world opens up more to the spiritual. Think about it, the lights, the symbols, the gestures of kindness, and even the deep silence of Christmas night have something that moves us all. What if these small actions were more than traditions, but signs that we should pay attention to? As you reflect on this, I want to invite you to think about the role of humanity within this date. Are we really living the spirit of Christmas, or are we just reproducing an event? For example, when we look at the current challenges in the world, wars, environmental crises, social divisions, does Christmas call us to a greater responsibility? I do not say this to accuse, but to question. What if each gesture of yours, however small, is a way of responding to the warning contained in the silence of this very special night? Finally, I want to emphasize that talking about prophecies or spiritual messages is something that requires care and sensitivity. What we present here is a perspective, something to be analyzed and debated with respect. It is not our intention to impose truths or cause distrust, but rather to invite you to look at Christmas and its traditions in a new light. So, what do you think of all this? I would really like to know your opinion. Leave a comment and share what you feel about this night so full of mysteries and meanings.